So, Pride Month may be over, but it's never too late to talk about this particular subject now, is it? So, a few years ago, I actually made a video called What is My Sexuality or something like that because somebody asked, and I thought I would talk about it. And you know what? It's been so many years since I made that video, and I've been thinking a lot about it again and noticing things. And I thought, why not make a more updated version of that video? This is also inspired by the fact that my friend Stevie Bobby scared the absolute hell out of me when I was at the Walmart parking lot at 3 in the morning, going back to my car, and I got a bunch of text messages, or a bunch of notifications. My purse is buzzing like hell, and I'm freaking out thinking that my father is in some sort of accident or something, because he's an on-the-road truck driver, so anything can happen at any time. And I'm like, oh my god, something is going on. And no, it's just Stevie getting very, very excited and going, "You're bisexual and you didn't tell me," or something along the lines of that. So yeah, in that video that I made years ago, I never gave a real sure label, right? I don't remember. I think the moral of that story in the video was that I am attracted to whoever the hell I'm attracted to. But at the same time, I was thinking, well, maybe bisexual? Bisexual? I don't know. What are words? But yeah, so that's the thing. Now, I never really talked about it on this channel. I did mention that, you know, I have really big crushes on Caitlin, Stacy, and Phoebe Tonkin, and a couple of people that I know in real life, and, you know. But as I was starting to, really in the past year, and really in the past, like, couple of months, like past 3 months, really starting to explore more things sexually and whatnot, I noticed that, yeah, pretty fucking bisexual at the very least. That's it. I think that's the end of the video. A lot of my friends were freaking out about, a couple of my friends were freaking out about this, and Twitter was also freaking out about it, because I did tweet about when Stacy, thinking about Caitlin now, hello. I mean, who could blame me? But anyway, Twitter was freaking out because I mentioned that Stevie, sent me text messages. I tweeted about it, and then she retweeted that, and then it blew up, and then followers were like, holy shit. And then, you know, my friend Annie Elaney was like, holy shit, even though she already knew, because she was the one that told Stevie while they were at VidCon together, and it was really funny. So while I never really, like, made a whole bunch of LGBT videos and was like, hey, I'm bi, or hey, I'm bisexual, hey, I like both men and women, I still mentioned it in passing every once in a while on Twitter, so I never really made this whole big coming out video, but I also was just like, oh, hey, by the way, you know, on other platforms. And as I go on about this video, I'm thinking, was it easy? Because, you know, some people are like, okay, so have you come out to your parents yet? Or, you know, your family members or anything else? And I'm going to do a video about this later on because I think it's interesting to talk about. But family is not really my thing in my life. I mean, I have biological family, right, but I'm not close to anybody. Like, half of them are in Germany with a language I can't really communicate in. So, and I don't talk to them anyway, so if I were to bring it up, they'd just be like, what? And then on the other side, that's in the west coast of the United States, I don't talk to them either. I think the one person that I really talked to was my grandmother, and she passed away in October. So, you know, I have mentioned it to my dad, and it's funny. I remember years ago when my dad was like, if you, I don't remember what did he say exactly? It was homophobic, I'll tell you that. But we were talking about it, and he was saying something like, if my child was gay, I'd kick him out or whatever. I don't even remember. But alas, you know, I brought it up nonchalantly. Is that how you say it? Nonchalantly? I brought it up bluntly, and he was just like, okay. Like, that was a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, okay. I was like, okay. Going on about our day at Walmart. That's pretty much it. So I recognize that not everybody has that privilege. I mean, just recently, Jessie Page did a really big coming out video. That girl is adorable, let me tell you. And I know she was very nervous about that. So I know obviously other people don't have the same kind of privilege where they could just be like, oh, by the way. I guess it was just kind of easier for me because it's like I don't really have a family that I'm close to. Like I don't talk to anybody. I'm kind of like the only person in my little family here besides my dad, but even we don't talk that much anymore. So, you know, like, I don't see him that much. So I have, like, my friends, and a lot of my friends are, you know, LGBT, and I remember what really brought this on was when somebody on Twitter was talking about how, or asking if they could call themselves bisexual because they've only had relationships with men and they only dated men. They're attracted to women, but they never actually, like, dated a woman. Like, they never had that opportunity. And the person, it was on, like, a curious cat. Like, you know, you can ask anonymous questions. And the person who owned that particular Twitter posted it. She, like, opens up the questions for everybody to answer, I guess. And, so somebody else anonymously responded, or no, or maybe they did, but it was also posted on Twitter as a reply, and they said, no, you can only call yourself bisexual or pansexual or whatever if you have actually dated, like, a woman. You have to have dated a woman and a man, or non-binary, or, you know, you have to date everybody, you know, that you say that you're attracted to. And I don't believe that whatsoever. Like, I mean, if we put it that way, like, I've only dated, or had, I had only dated guys, like, in high school, and went on, like, 1 or 2 dates with guys before I was in my first relationship with a guy, and now I'm in another relationship with a guy. To think if I didn't have my first relationship until I was 23, I'm 26 now. And going by that kind of logic, it's like, okay, well, then I couldn't say I was straight either until I was 23 when I finally had my first relationship ever. Like, real relationship, not the high school, I'm gonna go see you at your locker and talk to you for 2 seconds and hold hands kind of relationship, you know? So what kind of logic is that, to be honest? And then I retweeted saying basically that. And I was like, no, that's just, no. That's not how it works. It's about attraction and, you know, stuff like that. Like, you can't, I'd say cat's out of the bag, but I guess it's not really, but, you know, I mean, I've already announced it on YouTube a couple of years ago, but now we're making an updated version. I mean, I guess if anybody would like me to make more videos about this, I could. I do have a few ideas in mind already, to be honest, that I could talk about, things that I've experienced in, say, like, the past year that have really rubbed me the wrong way, that I wouldn't mind talking about. Let me know. I might be up for it. I mean, I'll be up for it if you're up for it. That's all I have to say on the matter, and before you go, if you haven't, consider pledging on Patreon. I have perks like you get playlists, exclusive writing content, and some pen pal letters if you want that perk, and I will see you later. Bye.